I know that one cop was bad, but not all cops are bad. They're there to protect you. Just follow the law and they won't bother you. I mean, he's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch.
An officer shot Alton Sterling, a black man who was reaching for his wallet when the officer shot and killed him with his child in the back seat. But hey, he's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. 4 officers shot 46 rounds into Milton Hall, a 49-year-old mentally disabled man who was armed with a pen. But hey, he's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. In Fresno, California, a police officer prevented a youth camp leader and his daughter from catching the next bus home, forcing them to walk several miles in the heat because he said so. But hey, he's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. An officer threw a black elementary school teacher to the ground twice, and the second officer said, "We're wary of blacks because of their violent tendencies." But hey, he's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. An officer pulled over a white man who was speeding due to his wife being in labor. The man was on his stomach while the baby's delivery was delayed even further. The ambulance were called, but she would have gotten there sooner if it weren't for the police. But hey, he's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. Northern California officer Noah Winchester has bragged and bragged about keeping the community safe. That was before he was arrested for raping 2 women in Los Rios Community College. That was before he was arrested for raping 3 women on duty in San Mateo. That's before he was also charged with 22 counts of kidnapping women he's pulled over for sexual favors. But the San Mateo Police Department plan on paying his legal fees. But hey, that's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. An unarmed black behavioral therapist was supervising his autistic patient who was playing with a toy truck at the park. When Florida police pulled up, the behavioral therapist laid obediently on the floor with his hands up, begging the officer not to shoot. The officer shot him, and then the therapist asked with blood on the floor, "Why did you shoot me?" The officer responded with, "I don't know." And according to the police union, he was actually trying to shoot the autistic patient. And it was deemed heroic. But hey, that's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. 30 black students were escorted off of Valdosta State University where the Republican National Convention transpired. The police involved in the case didn't even know who called them or why they were being called since the black students weren't even protesting. While it is speculated that Trump's campaign called the police, the 30 black students were not allowed on the property of the school, which they attended. But hey, that's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. A North Braddock police officer just outside of Pittsburgh was on a school bus when an elementary school child was smiling at him. The officer walked over to the kid, leaned over, and exclaimed, "Smile in my face one more time, and I'll be dragging your ass off this bus and back to that fucking police car. Don't smile one more time." But hey, that's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. In 2014, a flash drive was discovered by a coworker of Glasgow law enforcement officer Marty L. Rainey, to which they discovered shocking images of him sexually assaulting and raping women and children. It was later discovered that Marty was using his badge to inflict fear onto his victims, for he also engaged in child prostitution. In one case, he even preyed on a mentally ill woman who was already a victim of another rape crime. The officer would send her photos of his penis. He then told the victim's mother that if she wanted justice for her daughter, then she would have to strip nude and send him pictures. Thankfully, he was recently found dead in his cell. But hey, that's just one bad cop, one bad apple. Don't let the shit stain spoil the bunch. Stop. What are we doing here? What is this noise that doesn't seem to end? It's almost like an echo and it's been vibrating for many generations up to this day. It's always one bad cop, same old excuse, 1,000 times. I don't think that this is okay. You don't think that I'm so dumb, yet you would think that I would submit here to the ideas that cops aren't cruel? Fascism is anything but cool. Chris Dorner, Dan White, Zimmerman, and all the other countless examples I have not named. They're all justified and glorified. Apologists are blind and scared of all the stories that's been aired. It's like, have a one-sided report of a black man and the cops are the heroes once again. This corporate police state is like a goddamn fetish. The thin blue line is like a swastika as the sheep pledge allegiance to the fascist prison industrial complex that takes in more and more slaves for more and more money. The police are not your friends, and the fact that Barack Obama signed the National Defense Authorization Act demonstrates to me that black lives do not matter to him. The rise of white supremacy, the death count of black people, gay people, and the disabled do not concern him a single iota. The fact that David Duke is running for Senate, the fact that the police comprise of the KKK, the fact that the same Klansmen are politicians and police officers whose goal is to wipe out non-whites, non-straights, Jews, and the disabled does not cross his mind for a second. This tells me he does not care about the police state he has caused. And that's not even all, my friend. Obama has planned up Executive Order 13603, which the government seizes control of all commodities and products that are capable of being ingested by either human beings or animals, all forms of energy, all forms of civil transportation, all usable water from all sources, health resources including drugs, biological products, medical devices, materials, facilities, health supplies, services, and equipment. Forced labor, or induction as the executive order delicately refers to military conscription. Moreover, federal officials would issue regulation to prioritize and allocate resources, unquote. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? And you would think because Barack Obama is black that he would have at least a shred of sympathy for the people that he is causing harm to, and that's not to mention the countless Syrians and Palestinians he's been bombing and striking since the beginning of his term. But the police state and the prison industrial complex has been going on much longer than Barack Obama's term, and some of the most courageous black rights activists, such as Angela Davis, has endured the sickest torture fetishes the government has to offer, including but not limited to lobotomies, waterboarding, rape, and defecation. So when you tell me that it's just one bad cop, one bad apple, you're forgetting to note that the one bad apple has a parasite, and letting that parasite live uncorrected will contaminate the entire tree if you continue to silence those who speak against police brutality.